Korean Mafia boss again, the price of pride.
小姐，你怎么了？
我没事，就是有点累了。
别哭，慢慢说。
我们帮你。
Some debts can only be paid in blood. The scalding soup hit Beyoncé's face before she could even scream. It happened on a Tuesday night at Moonlight Garden, a modest restaurant in Seoul's Gangnam district. Beyoncé Kim, 25 years old, had been working double shifts for 3 months to pay for her mother's hospital bills. She was tired, her feet ached, but she smiled as she served every table. Until she reached table 7. Lil Chong sat there with his friends, all wearing designer clothes that cost more than Beyoncé's yearly salary. He was scrolling through his phone, barely looking up when she approached. "Your kimchi stew, sir," she said politely, placing the bowl down. "It's cold," he said, without even touching it. "I'm sorry, I'll bring—" "Are you stupid?" Lil Chong grabbed the bowl and stood up. His eyes were red, probably drunk. "My father owns half the restaurants in this city. You think I'll eat garbage?" Before anyone could react, he threw the boiling soup directly into her face. Beyoncé collapsed, screaming. The restaurant erupted in chaos. Customers jumped up, some filming on their phones. The manager rushed over, but instead of calling an ambulance, he apologized to Lil Chong. "Please, Mr. Chong, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience." "Clean this mess up," Lil Chong said, dropping cash on the table, "and fire that clumsy bitch." He walked out, laughing with his friends. Beyoncé lay on the floor, her face burning, her skin already blistering. A few customers helped her, called an ambulance, but the manager did nothing. He couldn't. Chan Young, Lil Chong's father, owned the building, owned the restaurant. 2 days later, across the city, Jet Kong sat in his office above a legitimate car dealership that served as a front for his other businesses. He was 43, built like a boxer, with graying hair and a scar across his left eyebrow. On the floor beside his desk lay Tiger, a massive German shepherd with intelligent brown eyes. Jet wasn't like the gangsters in movies. He wore simple clothes, spoke quietly, and rarely used violence unless necessary. But in the underground world of Seoul, his word was law. He ran protection, gambling, and information networks. The police knew about him but couldn't touch him because he was careful, smart. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Mr. Kong?" A woman's trembling voice. "Who is this?" "My name is Min Seo. I'm Beyoncé Kim's friend. She's in the hospital. Her face is destroyed. That bastard Lil Chong burned her and walked away. The police won't help because his father paid them off. The hospital is charging her for treatment she can't afford. Please, I heard you help people when the system fails them." Jet leaned back in his chair. Tiger's ears perked up, sensing his master's change in mood. "Why should I help?" Jet asked, though he already knew his answer. "Because no one else will, and because Chan Nung's family has hurt people like us for years. Someone needs to stop them." Jet was silent for a moment. Then, "Send me the—" Beyoncé lay in bed, her face wrapped in bandages. Only her eyes were visible, filled with tears and pain. When Jet entered with Tiger, she flinched. "Don't be afraid," Jet said softly, pulling up a chair. Tiger sat calmly beside him. "I'm here to help." "Who are you?" "Someone who doesn't like bullies." He listened as Beyoncé told her story between sobs. How she'd worked hard her whole life, how her mother was sick, how Lil Chong had destroyed her face, her future, her hope, and faced no consequences. "The police took my statement, but said there's no evidence," she whispered. "The restaurant deleted the security footage. The manager told me if I make noise, I'll never work in this city again." Jet's jaw tightened. Tiger growled low, sensing his master's anger. "What about witnesses?" Jet asked. "Customers filmed it on their phones, but they're scared. Chan Young is too powerful. His company controls food distribution across Korea. He can destroy anyone. Jet stood up. Rest. Focus on healing. I'll handle this. What are you going to do? He looked at her with cold, determined eyes. Get you justice. Justice is everything.
Things are really happening. The investigation begins. Jet Kong didn't rush. Rushing got people killed or arrested. He spent 3 days gathering information through his network. What he learned made his blood boil. Chan Young wasn't just a food billionaire. His company, Young Foods Corporation, had a dark history. Workers in his factories were paid slave wages. Several had died in preventable accidents, but Chan Young's lawyers buried the cases. He bribed health inspectors, politicians, and police. His son, Lil Chung, had hurt people before: waitresses, shop workers, anyone he considered beneath him. Each time, money made the problems disappear. Jet also discovered something interesting. 3 customers at Moonlight Garden had filmed the incident. All 3 had been visited by Chan Young's security team and intimidated into deleting the footage. But people who worked in Jet's world knew nothing is ever truly deleted. This life, 1 week after the incident, Jet and Tiger visited a small electronics shop in Itaewon. The owner, a nervous man named Park, did data recovery on the side. Can you retrieve deleted videos from phones? Jet asked. If they haven't been overwritten, maybe. Why? Jet placed a stack of cash on the counter. 3 people. I have their names and phone numbers. They deleted videos 1 week ago. I need them back. Park stared at the money, then at Jet's serious face. This is dangerous, isn't it? Very. But the right thing usually is. Give me 2 days. Life. While waiting, Jet made another move. He visited Moonlight Garden late at night when it was closed. Tiger sniffed around while Jet examined the security camera system. The manager had lied. The footage wasn't deleted, it was stored on a cloud server. With help from a hacker in his network, Jet obtained the backup files within hours. The video was crystal clear. Lil Chong's face, the burning soup, Beyoncé's screams, the manager's cowardice. Jet now had evidence, but evidence alone wouldn't bring justice, not against someone like Chan Young.
Corruption upon corruption, the deeper corruption. Jet's researchers dug into Young Foods Corporation's business records. What they found was explosive. Chan Young had been smuggling expired food products from China, repackaging them as fresh and selling them to schools and hospitals across Korea. The profits were enormous. The health risks were deadly. Several children had gotten sick. 1 had died. The death was ruled natural causes because Chan Young paid off the coroner. Jet stared at the documents on his desk, Tiger resting his head on Jet's knee. This man isn't just a bully, Jet murmured. He's a murderer. Now the question was how to expose him without getting killed. Jet called a meeting with his most trusted people, 5 men and 2 women, all loyal, all skilled. We're going after Chang Young, Jet announced. Silence. Everyone knew that name. That's suicide, boss, said Min-ho, Jet's second in command. He has politicians, police, even judges in his pocket. I know. That's why we're not going through official channels. We're going to destroy his reputation so completely that even his friends won't be able to save him. How? Jet laid out his plan. 1. Release the video of Lil Chong attacking Beyoncé on social media anonymously. 2. Leak documents about the smuggled food to journalists who couldn't be bought. 3. Organize the factory workers Chang Young exploited to protest publicly. 4. Create a media firestorm so big that the government would have to act. It's risky, said Soo-jin, one of his enforcers. If Chang Young finds out we're behind this, he'll come for us. Let him come, Jet said quietly. Tiger lifted his head, alert. "I'm tired of men like him getting away with destroying innocent people." The video dropped on a Friday morning. Anonymous accounts posted the footage of Lil Chong throwing hot soup at Beyoncé across every major social media platform. Within hours, it went viral. Millions of views, thousands of angry comments. Justice for Beyoncé trended nationwide. News outlets picked up the story. Reporters camped outside Chang Young's corporate headquarters. Lil Chong's social media was flooded with hate messages. Chang Young immediately held a press conference. "This is a misunderstanding," he said smoothly, wearing an expensive suit. "My son made a mistake in a moment of frustration. We deeply apologize and have offered compensation to Miss Kim." But the public wasn't buying it. The video was too clear, too brutal. Then Jet made his second move. An investigative journalist named Lee Ji-won received an anonymous email containing hundreds of pages of documents, shipping records, financial statements, internal memos, all proving that Young Foods had been importing and selling contaminated food. Ji-won was young, hungry for a big story, and most importantly, honest. She spent 3 days verifying the documents with experts. Everything checked out. Her exposé published on Monday. The headline read, "Food Billionaire's Deadly Secret: How Chan Young Poisoned Korea for Profit." The article detailed everything: the smuggled products, the sick children, the covered-up death, the bribed inspectors. Korea erupted in outrage. Protests began outside Young Foods facilities. Parents whose children had gotten sick came forward. Grocery chains announced they were pulling Young Foods products from shelves. Chan Young's stock price collapsed. Shocking, Jet knew they'd come. He'd prepared. They arrived at midnight, 10 of Kang's men, armed with bats and knives. They surrounded Jet's dealership. But Jet Kong hadn't survived 15 years in the underworld by being careless. When Kang's men burst through the door, they found the building empty except for Jet sitting calmly at a desk, Tiger beside him. "You're either brave or stupid," Kang said, walking forward. "Probably both," Jet replied. "You here to kill me?" "Sean Young wants you to stop, delete everything, disappear, or we'll make you." Jet stood up slowly. Tiger rose with him, muscles tense. "Tell Sean Young that Beyoncé Kim was innocent. She didn't deserve what happened to her. And all those people his company poisoned, they didn't deserve it either." "The world isn't fair," Kang sneered. "Important people get away with things. That's reality." "Not this time." Kang nodded to his men. They moved forward. Tiger attacked first, a blur of fur and teeth, taking down 2 men before they could react. Jet moved like a trained fighter, efficient and brutal. He wasn't young anymore, but he was experienced. Within minutes, half of Kang's men were on the ground. But there were too many. Jet took a bat to the ribs, went down hard. Kang stood over him, raising a knife. Then police sirens wailed outside. Kang froze. "What?" "I called them before you arrived," Jet gasped, "and they're not the usual cops your boss pays off. They're federal investigators." Indeed, the men who burst in wore suits, not uniforms. They'd been investigating Sean Young for weeks, and Jet had anonymously tipped them off about this attack. Kang and his men were arrested on the spot. With Kang in custody and singing to reduce his sentence, the walls closed in on Chan Young. He was arrested 3 days later on charges of food fraud, bribery, and conspiracy to commit assault. Lil Chong was charged with assault and attempted bribery of witnesses. The trial was massive, covered by every news outlet. Beyoncé testified, her scarred face visible to the world. Factory workers testified about abusive conditions. Parents of sick children wept on the stand. The evidence was overwhelming. Chan Young's lawyers fought hard, but even money couldn't save him this time. Public outrage was too intense. Politicians who'd accepted his bribes scrambled to distance themselves. 6 months later, Chan Young received 15 years in prison. Lil Chong got 5 years. Young Foods Corporation collapsed, its assets sold off to pay victims. Jet Kong visited Beyoncé in her new apartment, paid for by the settlement money she'd received. Her face still bore scars, but she had surgery. She was healing, both physically and emotionally. "Thank you," she said, tears in her eyes. "You gave me my life back." "You were brave enough to speak up," Jet replied. "I just helped make sure people listened." Tiger wagged his tail, and Beyoncé smiled, petting the big dog. "What will you do now?" she asked Jet. He shrugged. "Same as always. Try to keep the balance. Help when I can. Is that what you call justice?" Jet looked out the window at the city lights. "Real justice is slow, imperfect, but sometimes if you fight hard enough, it actually happens." He stood to leave, Tiger following. "Mr. Kong?" Beyoncé called. He turned. "The world needs more people like you." Jet Kong smiled slightly, a rare expression. "The world needs more people like you, people brave enough to stand up." And with that, he and Tiger walked out into the Seoul night,